Well, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome. Welcome to Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies, Living Legacies. Now, every Wednesday night, we arrive at 7 p.m. with the leading lady who's going to share her journey, her gifts, her ideas, and all of the things that she's about. And the intention is for you to connect and get to know her and to listen to her story, hoping that you'll be inspired somewhat by it, because every one of us connects in one way or another. And tonight, our leading lady, oh, I have a problem with names, and most of you know that, but she helped me a lot. It's Mary. Mary, the first name is easy. Mary Dominguez. And what a wonderful lady you're going to meet. She has so much to share with us, and you know that we only have so much time. My name is Joy Ruffin, and I'm always honored to be with you, and I'm constantly playing with the dials. But we're going to be talking tonight about time management, parenting, families, kids, all of that good stuff. But what I want you to do now is help me to welcome our guest, Mary Dominguez. Hello, 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 and welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me, Joy. It is absolutely a joy to be on your show.
Oh my goodness, you know I love hearing that. No more than it is for me to have you here, Mary. You and I connected some time ago and we had thought about and planned on this, but we couldn't connect, and finally we have. Now, you know, and I say this to almost every leading lady who comes here, that I love the work that you're doing. I think it's stupendous in so many ways. I know you have a nonprofit group, but tell us a little bit about the work you're doing now and how you got started.
Well, now what I get to do as an emotional wellness coach and parenting expert, I get to work with parents, especially of middle and high school students.
Yes.
And for 23 years, I was a teacher, and I know about the angst about having adolescents. And I was a parent. I still am a parent of a 19-year-old right now, and my oldest is 29, and that's part of my story as well. I know that there's so much that comes with being a teenager, and I also understand the support that parents need during this time, and sometimes they don't know where to find that support. So I get to be that support and that emotional wellness coach along the way.
And you know what? That is so needed. One of the connections that we have is most people know that I volunteer with my beautiful, absolutely exquisite young girls, trouble and distress, somewhat, another name, it doesn't matter. But what you're doing in the community is so needed, and you're so involved in the community. Tell us the name of the nonprofit organization that you have.
Well, my nonprofit, and I actually started with that, is Academy of Class. And Academy of Class is an acronym for Committed Leaders Achieving Success and Significance. We
Oh,
serve marginalized youth with a specific heart for teen moms and pregnant teenagers.
ah, you know, I have to find another adjective because loving the work that you're doing is so required and so needed, and we need more people who are involved like you in the community, helping. And it's our time, meaning time for women. So helping young girls, and especially young girls who get pregnant. We've all had different people ourselves involved in something like that. How did you how did you come to start this organization? That's what we want to know. What prompted you to start? Give us a little bit about you and your background.
Well, in my background, I'll tell you what really prompted me, and nothing happens by accident. And as it's actually started this organization back in 2012. Yes, and I have to think back because I was doing work with the girls before, but at the time I was teaching, and I knew I loved my job. I love what I was doing, connecting with the students, but I didn't realize until I started doing my own personal development and doing personal work and really working on myself, that I also had to face my own story. And as I looked for what was my lesson, because that was a big thing. I even went to I remember going to a Les Brown event, and he talked about, what's your story? What's your story? That's you. There's a lesson in that story, and people need to hear the story. And I was just bawling, and I didn't even know what the story was. But I realized that I knew the story. It was just, for so many years I carried it with shame because I too was a pregnant teenager.
Mhm.
And when I became pregnant, and it was the first time I skipped school. I was actually, my family's from Colombia. We're very strict parents. I mean, I
Yes,
went to a
yes.
private, went to a Catholic elementary, and I was attending a Catholic high school as well. So my values and everything. I mean, this was not quote unquote supposed to happen. And I know that even though I had a great relationship with my parents, which I thought I had, it was very much, the foundation of that was, I have to do better. I have to do good. I have to be this, be that. And for so many years, I realized that because I had not become what my dad wanted me to become, I felt
Mhm.
inferior. I didn't feel my self-worth. And I just became an overachiever. I got my master's degree, I got my specialist degree, and I was just to be happy. And I'm thinking that's gonna make it. I'm gonna feel worthy, and my dad's gonna be proud. And don't
Mary,
get me wrong, we do have a wonderful relationship now, but during my teen years, I when that happened, I really felt lonely. I felt
yes,
that I had let him
yes,
down. I was ashamed, and I
yes.
walked had a shame for many, many years, until that one day when I said, this is my story, and I get to support those girls. I showed up to a school, which is here in Miami, Cope South, and it was the sister of the Cope North that I attended. And I went to the principal and I said, I'm here. I would like to mentor the girls. This is my story. And she was in awe. She's like, you came at the
Mary, I,
that.
I hear you loud and clear, and I'm sure those who are here now and those who will come later will hear as well, because in your story, I'm sure are bits and pieces of all of us. Not the pregnancy part of it, but for me, a troubled and warped and angry young girl, and all young girls who, for whatever the reasons are deterred from what is their natural zone of genius and who they are, need support and help, so that your journey to where you are, your life to where you are now, took you to doing what you're doing. And that, I love what you wrote for me. And you said your journey has helped you save your life, and because of your awareness and insights, has helped you save your daughter's life and give her more awareness and so on. Tell us a little bit, if you can, about that.
Wow.
Very
Okay.
powerful.
That actually was a second chapter where I had my nonprofit, started that, and one common denominator that I found with a lot of the girls that I was working with was the parents. And
Yes.
it enlightened me, because I'm thinking, wow, they're having some sort of, misconnection with their parents. What can I do to support this? And what can we do to prevent this from happening?
Mm-hmm.
And making this connection where maybe the parents can speak the same love language as their kids. So I started Parenting Moments, which is my company, and that's the one where I get to do events and work with the schools. Right now, I'm
That's
working
your nonprofit? Is that your nonprofit?
nonprofit, yes, and that's the one that feeds my nonprofit. So it really works in an amazing way, and we
Uh-huh.
get to provide services to also to the parents who cannot afford the services. We're able to do this with this collaboration. I mean, they definitely work in unison and partnership. Well, as I was doing this work and I opened my Parenting Moments, I did extensive research on parenting. I realized that there were many things that I was doing like my parents were doing them, and just told myself I wasn't, but I really was. And and I think I just got what they call an aha moment, as I would give my daughter, I would tell her affirmations, everything that I was learning, I was applying. And I thought I had it down pat. I'm like, I got this. This is it. I'm definitely the expert. And one day my daughter told me, sometimes I just don't feel worthy. I don't feel like I'm worth anything. And I'm like, I don't understand. Like, I mean, I thought I made you feel awesome, and I just told you. I mean, I tell you all these things, and
What was
it's
the bottom line that she was attempting to let you know that was something that was bothersome for her? Because if I'm hearing you, you're saying that you were thinking you were doing all the right things because of your past and background. But what we find, at least I'm finding in the work that I'm doing and for myself and my own personal development, is that residual effect of things, you just keep repeating the mindset over and over sometimes, and you're not even aware of it. Was that
yeah.
somewhat, what was her verbiage back to you about what you were not doing that she
There
needed?
were two things, Joy, and thanks for asking that phenomenal question. But there were two things. One
Yes.
was the time, because even though we did things together, I realized that because I was doing and always caught in the doing, those moments that even if it was just for a few moments that I could just be very present to her, it wasn't really happening because everything was kind of on a drive-by situation.
Yes.
And even though my intention was good, she didn't feel that it was, I was making her that, giving her that attention. So
You
I
know, that
really,
thing you mentioned, I'm sorry to interject, but it's so powerful what you're saying, time. And that was the title that you gave me, but that encompasses so much. And almost every relationship that you have, whether it's family or those friends, they want more of you. They want more time with you because they value, they love, and they appreciate you. So
yes.
that's powerful there. Yes.
And it's not even the more time, but it's at the little, even the little time that you give, that you
Quality.
are completely there.
Yes.
And that's one of the things that I really, just work with people, with parents especially, to be very conscious about it. And I have to, press reset on myself sometimes too, because as
Sure.
we, society, as we get busy, and as our businesses start growing, it's easy to get caught into that roller coaster. And all of a sudden I have to acknowledge and say, wait a minute, I realize it's happening. Let me be present. And
That's the word.
10
That's the
minutes,
word.
10
Present.
minutes.
Because how many times have you, Mary? I know it happens with me often. We'd like to say no, but it happens where you're talking and you're conversing with someone and they have the phone and they're going like this and they're back and forth. They're not really present with you. And that's not a sign that they're really engaged with you. And that's what you want. Even if it's for a brief moment, or if they apologize and turn away. So I can really get what you said. And what was the second thing that she said to you? That's what I'm waiting for.
Second thing, and I think the timing was perfect, because when we really start doing the work, we have to be prepared that things are going to start coming up because we're ready.
Yes.
And I was in starting the healing work, and at the time I had a spiritual leader where I started doing healing work with myself. And when she said this, it resonated with me, because even though that wasn't something that I was telling her, making her feel that way directly, I realized that she was feeling exactly the way I felt when I was a teenager.
Ah, powerful. So powerful. Yes.
And that is where I realized, wow, I really need to heal my inner child so that my now child is healing as well, so that she's not experiencing my traumas.
Yeah.
That has been the scope of my work. And I tell you, when I take my clients through that path, and I call it the self-alignment process,
Yes.
we really get to go deep. And those things, like you said, the mindset, things that we hold in our heart as well, really just heal that so that our kids are not experiencing it, because there's a lot of science that and we carry within our DNA those
Yes.
past traumas from our grandparents, from our parents, and it's there. So we get to heal that.
There is so much profundity in what you just said. I had a lady on a couple of weeks ago who is an ancestral coach, and she takes you back through generations, because all of us, everyone, there's no exclusion here. We have that tendency to repeat and that residual factor over and over until we're slapped in the face or hit, however, where we embrace that we have to change. So now that leads me to a point that you made with me that I really want you to discuss. And I love the title. You said, let's talk about red. Well, red happens to be one of my favorite colors, and most everyone else appreciates red. So tell us a little bit about red and how you deliver red to the people that you coach and work with.
Well, red is one of the things, and like you said, just it's such a vivid color. And for some people, red can be very passionate. It can excitement, love. For some people, red could be something that's, associated with hurt. It could be associated with so many things. However,
Yes.
definitely the vivid is there. And I use red in several of my talks because it's so important. I think that whenever I'm speaking, especially with parents, and I'm teaching them about teaching their kids and being role models for their kids, and they're trying to fix things and control everything, I said, you know what? It's not even about them. It's about you. Let's work on managing you, and you can be a role model to them. So I present to them red. I call it my secret sauce.
I like that.
So red is an acronym, and the R. These are
Uh-huh.
my 3 tips. These are the things that if you put it into your life, it will totally change your life. Whatever you're gonna do, if you've been postponing it into your life and you make excuses for yourself, then you think red. So R is respect.
Ooh, my favorite.
Respect is something that you want to earn from others, but it starts from within. It starts with you. And
Absolutely.
people will require or are demanding respect. Even as parents, we want that from our kids, but they are going to see you, and you are the one that sets your bar based on how you respect yourself. So if you're respecting yourself, there are more opportunities for them to respect you as well. So the respect that encompasses if you having integrity with yourself, and what you're telling yourself, how you speak to yourself, being your biggest cheerleader and not your biggest critic, because that we often do. So this respect for me is huge. And back in the days, like I mentioned, my Colombian background, we think respect sometimes and it's like stern, but respect is beautiful. It's really honing your self-worth and putting it out there so that
Yeah.
you get that back.
And again, it ties in, and everything sooner or later piggybacks on and connects with the relationship that you have with yourself. If you have the highest and the deepest regard and respect for yourself, then you're going to deliver that out to others. So that has a very impactful meaning there. And then E.
The letter E stands for empathy. So empathy lies right under the emotional intelligence, which is what I do. I mean, just being able to understand your emotions, being able to understand the emotions of people around you, and not jumping into conclusions. There is a great book by Don Juan Miguel Ruiz, which I highly recommend. The very, very small book. He talks about the 4 agreements. And one of them, you look at book too.
Oh, it's a fabulous book. I mean, I think everyone should have that book. And, not everything is for everybody, but that's a book that everyone can get value from. Yes.
It's a simple read, but it just has so much value, as you said. And one of the things is don't take things personal, and also watching the perspective. When you can see things in a different perspective, not just as you can see things with empathy. I mean, I think we have the power to change the world to a better place once we start doing that, even our own world, because we're not in victim mode. We're in serving mode, and we can even sometimes, like just trying not to have to fix anything, but being, like I mentioned before, being present. That's empathy. I'm here for you, and I'm just willing to listen. So that is one thing that I always encourage. So respect, empathy. The letter D.
I get it. Before you go to the letter D, though, when it comes to empathy and caring for self and all of that, it means that you have the compassion to understand and be sympathetic, empathetic, and everything else with other people. But first, everything, Mary, as you well know, and we discussed, starts with ourselves.
Absolutely.
My favorite of the 3, and we're not supposed to have favorites, but we all have favorites, right? Yes, we do. And my favorite is one that I tie in and connect somewhat with focus, because I'm just getting there after all these years on the planet. But tell us what D means for you, and then they'll know what I mean and why I say that.
Peter. So the letter D is discipline.
Yes.
And I'll tell you that when I was growing up, discipline was not a good thing either for me. I'm like, okay, this is where I don't know, I get time out, the Colombian style. But discipline is actually an amazing thing. It's wonderful. And I like to define discipline. I think one of the best definitions for discipline is doing what you know is right, even when you don't want to do it.
Yes.
For the gratification, for future gratification on a consistent basis. So doing, and I'm going to say it once again, I know that you're catching this live, but it's doing what you know is right, even when you don't want to do it, on a consistent basis for future gratification. And in this time and age, people want instant gratification. I mean, you stick something in a microwave and it's like 1 second is 1 minute is long. It's like, I don't know, why is this taking so long? Because we want this. And it's so important to understand that we get to create positive habits. And in order for that to happen, we have to be consistent.
Yes.
We have to focus. And we have to know that it's not going to be instant, but with time, you're going to see it flourish.
I like that you ended with the D, the discipline, because, and the way that you expressed it, all of the ways that you tie it together, that is so crucial, essential. They all are for any young developing mind, but that one more so than ever. And I see that with the young girls that I'm with, because I remember one of the gifts is that I remember when I was very, very young, how impressionable and kind of you can jump here and bounce there, but you have to discipline yourself to get to where you want. And very few, in fact, I don't know of anything that happens overnight. It might happen overnight, but the work put into the application to have it happen overnight is a whole different saga. So that's a good thing. That's really a heck of a program. I'd seen Red before and maybe a different kind of meaning, but now it really comes home to me. Tell me, what are you planning in the next few months towards the end of the year for the organization that you're with? What is coming about that we need to know about, or that we should know about, that most of us, because the intention is that people will connect and touch base with you so that they can know what you're about. And then I know that you have, but let's do that. Is there anything in the hopper that you're planning in the near future that you'd like to have people know a bit about now?
Absolutely. And thank you, Joy, for asking. I'm going to be launching very soon, and I'm very, very excited about this, are my influential parenting course. And this influential parenting course, I'm very excited because what it is in essence is a course that's designed for personal development, for emotional wellness as a parent. So it's not just your things to do and not to do as a parent and that kind of manual, but it's really to see and introspect, because I truly believe that when we become a better version of ourselves, that our kids are also going to become the best version of themselves. It's not about telling them, but actually being a role model and influencing them in that positive way. So that influential parenting course, I'm excited. I'm offering it now to some alternative schools, opportunity schools here in Dade County. So I'm excited about that. And very soon we're going to be launching it and making it available to parents. And my intention is for it to be a global program, because there are parents everywhere. So
I love are there ever, and more and more and more. I think that's fantastic, and I wish you the best of luck, and I'll support you in any and every way that I can. Now, you have an offer for those who are here now and those who will come later for the replay. And yes, we're going to keep this up for, I don't know, we didn't give it a time span, but tell us what that offer is that you are going to be giving to those who are interested in the service and the coaching that you offer. Share with us. The link is up here. I'm hoping that they'll take a click of that, or I'm going to put it in the comments and find out from you exactly what it is, and that they'll touch base with you.
Wonderful.
So what that's about.
Sure, screenshot right now. Let me smile.
Yes.
And that is the link right there, yes, where I'm going to be offering a 45-minute session. And this session is going to take you to your why. Because I know that when I was able to really hone in my why, it really opened so many doors where I knew that I had a nonprofit, and then that it's like my why took me into opening my business, starting my business. I was able to resign from my job after 23 years in the school system, start my own company, and it's flourishing. So it is so important. And what's going to keep you in the red, and not your bank in the red, but in your red.
Yes.
As I mentioned before, is knowing your why, having that clear. So in this session, we're going to go through 7 levels and give you an introduction to that SAP, my self-alignment process. And I call it like a breakthrough session. So it's 45 minutes that are going to be for anyone who watches this and just clicks that link and registers.
I hope they will, because I know the stupendous service that you offer and how great you are within the community and around everywhere. So my prayer is that people will connect with you. And may I say that I am always just like a kid going back to school, because I love school, even though I wasn't very good in it. But to learn. And I'm always learning. And you gave us lots of good information. So I thank you. I'm going to ask you now to go into the green room for a second. So if you'd like to say so long to the audience for now and say until the next time, so long for now.
Absolutely. Well, definitely. Thank you so much for watching this, and feel free to share this video, because I know Joy is really changing the world in so many ways with this amazing people that she handpicks, and I'm honored to be here. So hopefully you will take advantage of that session that we've offered you. And again, Joy, thank you. So long
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So long for now. Stay in the green room. I'll be there in a second. What a fabulous, fabulous, there you are, person. I'm going to say this. I think I can do it this way. Yes, for the long, oh boy, you never know. Did you not enjoy all of the information that she shared with us? I mean, when it comes to parents and children and the responsibility that we all have, whether we have children with us now or not, we're always role models and responsible for all of the people around us. And the work that Mary is doing in the community, I hope that you will take advantage of her offer. And the prayer always is that you will connect with her. By the way, that's the link. But I also want to leave you with this. You know, if you're watching here and now, that you are your leading lady. And it's all about your signature style and how you stamp it to you. So what I want you to do is to make sure that you get the free complimentary brochure that's yours. You can click and stamp the link here and make sure that you get your complimentary booklet. If you're coming here for the first time and you're here for the replay and you've not received it, you would want to get it because it's a great book. And do let us know that you were here, #replay. We are building, we are growing, everything takes time, but it's always good to look out and to see that you're here. We're changing a lot of things around. Change is good, right? It's always good. It doesn't appear so sometimes when you're starting out. But we're going to be doing every other week. And I say we because I never come here alone. I might appear alone, but I have surrounding me always phenomenal, fantastic people who support me to share messages with you. And that means that every other Wednesday, it'll be Leading Ladies, Leading Legacies, Living Legacies, where I'm going to share an interview with you, a fantastic, phenomenal lady that you're going to want to meet and connect with. That is always the prayer. And then the following every other Wednesday, it will be Style with Joy, Your Joy. How you develop and stamp your signature style to you and you alone. Because everyone has a signature style that belongs to them and them alone. And that's what I'm going to help you with. You're going to have presence, confidence, and the power to tweak whatever it is that you're about now, so that when you stand, you act, you feel, and you look always your best with your signature style, not someone else's. And that's the journey that we're going to take together. And we're going to explore lots of possibilities. So join me. And then again, I haven't finalized it yet, but every other 2 days or so, I'm going to go into the group Style with Joy and broadcast just to the people who are there. And we're going to address many of the concerns and the issues that you have. And we will also have a program that we are putting up and about. Not sure the date and the time yet, but also I have a 5-star point system that's going to give you the star power that you're seeking. 5 points. And I'm looking forward to sharing that with you. So until next week, next Wednesday, it'll be Style with Joy, Your Joy, and how you get your significant signature style and stamp it to you. In the meantime, thank you for being here. It's always good when you show. I know how active, engaged we all are and focused on what we're doing. So when you drop in, it's always good to see you here. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. And I look forward to seeing you again and soon, like next week. So long for now. Cheers.